My name is James Steffes. I retired as an engineman chief, E7. So I ended up in Norfolk on a attack troop transport on the USS Chilton. And ship built in 1942, old converted merchant ship, do about 8 knots maybe. But it was very interesting. I no sooner got aboard it, and within a couple of weeks we left for the Mediterranean. Got to see lots of places: Italy, Greece, Spain, France. So I was certainly getting my chance to see the world. And in 2.5 years I spent that I was on there, I made the Mediterranean twice and the Caribbean 5 times. The ship never seemed to be in port. There were no kids, seriously, born who remember the crew while we were in the States in 2.5 years. Well, it was a converted merchant ship, and it carried 24 landing craft. And we did operations with the Marines, you know, storming the beach. And our berthing compartment were these canvas bunks. They were like 4 high. And if the guy above you loosened his up a little bit, well, when you crawled in there, your nose was right there next to him. Food was pretty good on it. It was my first experience on a ship. On our way back from the Mediterranean the first time, they took what they call the Great Circle, which is up by Greenland. And we were all called, all hands on deck one night about 10 o'clock with fire axes to break the ice off of the rigging, because we had already gotten so much ice on there that we were starting to get top heavy and taking splits with the boats, taking all those heavy rolls. So it was, we went through North Atlantic storms, and for me that was different. Usual routine, we worked on the boats. Each one of us was assigned to a boat, so we had to keep the bilges clean, making repairs on them. And so when we went to Condition 1 Alpha, which is when you storm the beaches, everybody's boat had to be tip-top shape. And for me, it was an engine that I had just learned in A school, so it was kind of right down my alley. I was single. I got out. I was down in the Bay of Pigs in Cuba. We were down there with a load of Marines on board. We were already in the Caribbean when the Bay of Pigs thing went down. And we circled around off of there, and at one point they got us all together quarters, and they said that these guys were going to use our landing craft for their invasion. So we had to go up and grind all the numbers off, take all the nameplates off, anything that said USA, and the orders were we were to proceed to this area, put the boats in the water and abandon them. And these guys would be coming in on a merchant ship, climbing in them and go. Well, we were told to do that and get ready, then it was canceled, then it was on, and then it was canceled. And about this time my division officer lost the list of what engines went in which boat. And since we ground off all the numbers, nobody knew what was anything. So at one point in time, we were steaming up down the Cuban coast, and we were flying no flag. They put guys over the side, painted all the numbers off. And we went to general quarters, and this Cuban MiG came in and strafed us. And a cannon fired, put some pretty good sized holes in the landing craft, the steel ones. So they had to come out with a torch and actually cut a square out for the hole and weld it all in, patch it all up, so it could not look like it happened. In the meantime, Radio Havana announces that that they sunk a troop transport with all hands lost. And of course it was played back in Norfolk, and the families were just having a fit, and they were down there at the Fiblant, and they couldn't say nothing, and we were at radio silence. And at one point, and it was kind of funny that we went alongside a destroyer that had gone in and stuck her bow up on the beach and picked up about 36 of these Cuban rebels and rescued them off the beach. In doing so, they damaged her sonar dome. So we found out at quarters that the ship was going to come alongside, and we're going to transfer these guys over here so they could go into Gitmo and have it fixed. Well, there were no pictures, no cameras. A friend of mine was sitting there with his brand new Yashica, and the XO came up by, and he just gave it a flip over the side. And he said, "That wasn't really a camera, was it, Petty Officer Chisholm?" He said, No, sir, it wasn't." And when the whole thing was done, we came back into Norfolk Harbor, and of course we had to paint all our numbers back and everything, but that was my first taste of anything that could have been really close to action. We came back from there. That was in 1961. By the middle of 1962, my enlistment was up and I got out. Went back to Minnesota, worked around a few things, and wished I could have re-enlisted.